hold on. You sound a little upset. You mad, huh? My crew too fresh. You mad, huh? See us flexing in these streets. You mad, huh? Diversity of thought. You mad, huh? Educated black men. You mad, huh? Philly won the Super Bowl. You mad, huh? Dallas blew 60 mil. You mad, huh? Aggie pride in your face. You mad, huh? 5 newts in this group. You mad, huh? Welcome to You Mad, Huh? The podcast conceived out of brotherhood and presented with love. This is our post GHOE episode. We're calling this episode 15 and a half. I know you've never seen that before, but 15 and a half. And we have some special guests on with us today. So I'm going to introduce everyone. We have our usual panelists. We have Ken Merritt. GHOE is the only week that he doesn't smack someone. That's a good thing. We've got Anthony Humphrey. Word on the street is Sean Cole says you own Ozempic. The hell is that? We got Tyron Bond. He doesn't like dirt bikes, but he's from Detroit, so he loves green gators. That's how they roll.
Wow.
We got Raymond. We've got Raymond Cooper. The word smooth didn't exist until he was born. They created it for him. And then we have me. We have P. I broke my collarbone. I lost 10 pounds. How's that happen, man? And then we have our two guests for today, Kathy and Sheree. They are the city girls of homecomings. They be in these streets.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
So,
Hello.
And Kathy and Sheree did an HBCU tour. They've been doing it the last 3 years. So they're going to give us their thoughts and conclusions on who really is GHOE. Is it the people in Greensboro? Is it somebody else? But we're going to start off with, because we all attended GHOE this year. Kathy and Sheree were back this year. We want to start with best part of GHOE this year. All right. So who wants to jump in here first? Who wants to give anybody have anything outstanding to say at this point?
I'll start. Best part for me, I think when we did the day party, it was more space. There was more space. We saw it. The day party last year, they had a lot of, they had the outside and the inside, but everything was so crowded. But this year, at least you had a little room to breathe. You didn't have someone like standing right on the back of your neck. Still great party, but it just gave people more space. So I think that was a win for me. We were able to kind of sit down, chill out, people watch.
So which day party was this?
This was I guess the old one that the World of Beers had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aggie Days. It was the Aggie Days. Larry King.
That's the Max Speed Shop.
Thanks.
So here's the thing. There's another day party for our age group hosted by Aggie Jits. So there are actually two day part. I don't even want to call them competing. They're different atmospheres at each, but I think they both have really good crowds because I think most of the people on the podcast ended up going to the Aggie Jits. But you are right. The Max Speed Shop day party, a lot more space. The Aggie Jits has always had a decent amount of space. It's got an indoor and an outdoor. So perfect. All right. Anybody else got a comment about something that was that they thought was outstanding this year, something that they really liked?
I don't think it was much different for me, but the flow for Friday was so much easier. It started with a good workout in the morning. Contrary to popular belief, Ozempic was not on the menu for breakfast. Weights and treadmills and benches were on the menu, and it flowed directly into the individual school cookouts, which we had a great time, great food, great music, great crowd. Got a chance to see people there. A quick hit at the bookstore that flowed directly into heading downtown and hitting the pop-ups for a quick round that led directly to the Aggie Gents Day Party that led to getting back to the Sheridan, changed up for the alumni concert. So Friday for me was the best day in terms of just a natural flow and getting to maximize the amount of people that we got to see. So can't replace that. And it's one of those things that if you start it late, you're going to be catching up all day. But Friday we got a good start early, so it was a very comfortable flow on Friday. That's the best part for me.
Yeah,
go ahead, Kim. Go ahead, Kim.
Yeah, for the most part, we're pros at this now, right? And as we get older, one, we know where to go and how to do, to Hump's point, what the flow should look like. But I enjoy that, when we were younger, it was pretty much about the parties, right? But now we can do it where we network, we kind of catch up, we kind of, see what's going on in and around the university. As Hump talked about, we have our kind of colleges and the cookouts, and they present kind of the latest and greatest of what's going on in those schools. And so it just makes for, I think, a well-rounded event that culminates obviously with parties and good times, but it's so much more than that. And I think the older I get, the more I appreciate all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, look, I have something that was, for me, that was a standout, and that is the bonfire. Dog, that joint is, it was outstanding. Like,
all right, Pete, you got to set it up a little bit, right? For folks who didn't go, tell them all about the band.
So here's let me set it up for you. So, like you mentioned on the last podcast, there are two stages that are having performances during the game, and inside the stadium, they had, it was a Young Jock and what's my man's name from the Locks? Jadakiss, right? So
And
they
Lil Mo.
And Lil Mo, Superwoman. That's my girl. I was on that. Even though she said she had a little booty. but either way.
I gotta tell y'all why I did that. Cause they've been saying on the internet, they talk about Mo got a BBL. No, I don't. I got an LBB. A little butt, bitch. Let's go. So we about to do. Cause little booties matter. We gonna
Jadakiss Jadakiss he was all right. He was okay, right? If you like Jadakiss, and Young Jock really kind of did a set where he kind of got people moving. But Young Jock, Jadakiss was okay. Mm-hmm. At the bonfire, right? So they have a guy playing drums at the beginning. It's dark outside, so you just got lights on the stage. It's like you're in Hollywood, right? And they're playing music, but there's a guy playing drums with the music, right? So I'm like, okay, this is kind of dope. Then the DJ comes out and he starts playing old school hits. And then when they bring Jada out with the lights, it's like, this shit is crunk. Because people had little light things they were flying around, and people rush to the stage. And I was like, dog, this, and the space is huge. When you drive up to the bonfire, so the bonfire is, I think it's going to be like, a TP style bonfire. I didn't know really what to expect. This bonfire is massive. It looks like you're walking into hell. It's so big. I was like,
how would you know? Yeah, exactly.
No, hey, I hope I don't know, but that's what I imagined. I was about to turn around. Look, hey, I almost turned around. I was like, maybe I shouldn't be here. But the bonfire is so massive, and we'll have on the final edit. I'm going to have some just images kind of rolling at the bottom, and the bonfire will be part of it. But that bonfire itself is huge. Like,
is it at the farm? Where is it?
It is kind of right beside. I don't know if I've heard that a local businessman owns it, and he rents it out for these events. But it's right beside A&T Farm on McConnell Road. Yeah. And getting in wasn't bad, and getting out wasn't bad either. So even though there's thousands of people, so we got there earlier, but they have that. They have cigar lounges. Now all your drinks are included with your ticket price. Okay. So you just go up and get whatever mixed drink, whatever you want. The only thing you have to pay for is food, but they got multiple food trucks. People brought their chairs out. It would be a perfect event to attend if you want to take your lady. I saw about my friend Wendy Owens. Her sister was there with her husband, and they're older than us. But there were people. My son said he had some friends that were in their 20s early 20s that were there. But it was a great environment and it was great experience. It was really a festival, like Burning Man type thing. You got that type of feel. But that performance, when he came out, it just same performance almost, different atmosphere. And it really was, yeah.
And Paul, from what I understand, they had different spirit vendors that were sponsors. Patron, Jack Daniels. I forget who else, but seemingly there was another one. And I know Ken had been talking about these partnerships, right? And how we can utilize them to expand on the brand of GHOE. So I think that's a perfect example, right? But now we got to get them in the real money, in the real place.
Right.
Yeah. Versus the bonfire.
And Patron had their
clarification.
own.
So again, I just so people who weren't there understand. This we're talking about a bonfire on Saturday night after the football game, right?
After
so
the game, yep.
Just to you guys who've never been there and you still doubt that we are the greatest homecoming on earth. First, we were talking about a concert that happens during the game where Jadakiss performed. And we're not talking about like there's another stage all the way across campus. But this concert that Jadakiss performed during the game was literally like what do you guys say? 100 yards from walking in the stadium, right? Because there's so many people inside the stadium seating. But these are folks who paid to get in the game, who can't sit down because the stadium's full. They go to the concert. So that's during the day. What Paul and Ray were just talking about was at 9 o'clock at night after the game on that same day.
And look,
we were there. We had a blast.
Dessert.
And don't forget, there's a concert.
Exactly.
There's a concert in the arena, the Greensboro Coliseum, that Saturday night as well.
Same
but that supports Ken's theory of the city embracing GHOE. They roll out the carpet, right? All of the hotels, all the venues, all the restaurants, everything is embraced. So they accommodate everything and everybody. Even I read a article today that downtown Greensboro recorded 173,000 people that have foot traffic downtown. That includes during the game, that includes the vendor fairs with the pop-ups, that includes restaurants and bars. I mean, it's totally.
And then when you start talking about from a safety standpoint too, you're going to have all the people in the city. So when you have these type of events in different locations under a controlled environment, you kind of disperse people from all being in the same location. And in essence, it makes it a little safer for every event that you are at. Because imagine if it was only one or two of those and everybody tried to go to those same ones. Now you're talking about a bunch of overcrowding. And parties as well. I think when you have multiple parties going on during the day and even at night, it spreads out the crowd and it makes it a little less, up in your face and on top of you all weekend. And I love that about it.
And don't forget. Go ahead, Ken.
I was going to just piggyback on what Hup said, because I think that's another thing that separates us from others. When I talk about our party heritage and how this all sorts out, that we're so good at it that, and just as Kathy was talking about a day party, and then we mentioned that there was another day party that we kind of go to, and those going on at the same time. But that was just for our age group. Right. That's my point. They're parties for every age group.
Multiple.
I was on, so certainly my kids go and there's students there. So they're in Ty, I think your daughter went, she's still in high school this year, right? So there's high schoolers and there's the students, but there's 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds. I was on the elevator with a gentleman who said to me, and this is one of my favorite moments. He's like, he said, yeah, I don't drive around like I used to, but I had to drive here. I said, sir, well, where you come from? And he said, I came from Wake Forest, North Carolina, which is probably 70 miles maybe from
an hour and a half away.
An hour and a half, right? And he said, yeah, I usually don't drive too far, but I had to drive myself this time. I said, well, how old are you, sir, if you don't mind me asking? He said, young man, I'm 83 years old and I never miss.
Wow.
We actually met
Hey.
someone. I think they said this was their
Maybe 50th?
51st GHOE. He said
Yeah,
he
he
never
said
missed a
he never
GHOE
missed
since
one.
his freshman year. So it was
Oh,
another,
wow.
yeah. So
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is wild. All right, so it seems like par for the course for everyone. Again, I was super excited about the bonfire. I did realize that I kind of probably went a little too hard, maybe. I guess I don't know. I know, right? I don't know, man. I just feel like I was like, man, you got to slow down because we went because Wednesday we were at the bowling party, right? And again, this is just our age group. There's stuff going for everybody. Wednesday, bowling party, and this is probably 40+ crowd. Wednesday there's a party, bowling party. Thursday, Manny Fresh, right, is in town doing DJ stuff. Friday is a day party, and there's the alumni concert that Hump and Quake and Ken went to that night. And by the way, there's another. There's another formal. There's another formal. I didn't even know they had this in High Point. There's a formal where people in tuxes and all that China went to that night. And then Saturday you got the game and this bonfire, concert. It's just so much that you can do. It's almost overwhelming.
And Paul, by the way, there was
But I
another
like that.
concert. There was another concert at the Sheridan that night too. I forgot about
Right.
that.
Ronnie from BBC.
Ronnie DeVoe.
Ronnie DeVoe.
Bill DeVoe. Yep.
And
But I
Saturday
like
night. And Saturday night, there was a
And
sneaker
Kev
ball.
is still that.
And the sneaker ball.
A sneaker
Hey,
ball.
look, Kev, you didn't know about that Ronnie DeVoe, did you?
Because I would have been over there.
Hey,
And also, Plies did a concert as well for the
He
40
sure
and
did,
up.
because we missed that.
40 up?
Yeah, we missed
40
that.
up?
Uh-huh,
I didn't
40
hear
and
about
up.
that.
That was
And
on
if
Friday,
you-
right? That was a day party on Friday.
It was a day
Right.
party, I believe. And he talked highly of it. I think he
Yeah.
posted either yesterday or today just saying how he's just getting, back up and running for
Right.
GHOE. So, yeah.
And,
Well,
and the thing with
let's not forget the DJ at the vendor booth, the live DJ Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
That's right.
oh wow.
Yeah.
You shared it?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Well,
I think the difference. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead,
Go
Sheree.
ahead.
I think for us, the difference between last year and this year, for me, last year was our first year. We drove in, and I think we drove in on Friday.
Oh no.
We did.
This year, we actually flew in early Thursday morning.
Yeah,
So
all
we
the
had all Thursday, all Friday, all Saturday, and we left out Sunday. But the difference to me is we were able to get in on Thursday. And like you said, you have to pace yourself. We're at the point now. Kathy is one of my best girlfriends, and she turned 50 this past year. We have to get naps in too. We're not embarrassed by that.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
You're gonna play yourself if you don't.
And
Hey, can I ask
sometimes
y'all a
it's
question, though?
voluntary naps, and sometimes it's not.
That's right.
And we talked about those 2 points on the GHOE pre-GHOE podcast about Ty and Ken were like Thursday. You got to get here Thursday.
Gotta get
Yeah, it's a game changer. You get a full night's sleep on Thursday night. Body can just get normalized with the time. Because when you hit the ground running, coming in on Friday, and going right at it, you'll never catch up.
You never catch up.
You'll be searching for that nap. That's the problem.
So Kathy and Sheree, do y'all feel like when y'all there, do y'all feel like Aggies?
Oh, yes. We're the Aggie cousins.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Last year, no. This year, yes. I wore Aggie shirt around my waist, and I'm 110, 20 toes down Alabama State. But yes, our cousins went to Aggie land, so yeah, I felt like an Aggie.
Yep.
Aggie
y'all
pride.
There you
go. There you go.
She didn't want to say it at first, y'all. She didn't want to say it. By the end of the trip.
Ken, share your theory.
So let's jump into the next topic. Is there anything we could do better that could be done better, or anything that disappointed you, or that a gripe that you have? I know Hump had a gripe about prices, and I have that same gripe because those bonfire tickets were. I heard a few people say, okay, it was nice, but for what some of the tickets went for, I don't know if I would really want to go back for that price. So,
well, the bonfire for. Oh, go ahead, Kathy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Continue.
No.
I think that happened to us with Manny Fresh. We were excited. We wanted to go, but the Manny Fresh tickets, the only ones that was left available to purchase was like $87 and some change plus the fee. So I told Kathy, are we really paying $100 for Manny Fresh, or we can go to the Sheraton and sit around and have a good time as well.
They are learning. They are learning.
That's kind of like real Aggie stuff
They
right
got
there.
it. They are
You
learning.
have been indoctrinated correctly.
That's it.
Yeah. I think that was the thing with me, just the prices and just the lack of. It's such a scramble to get these tickets. It's just a scramble. Everybody's scrambling. I don't know how much of that is scalpers getting tickets too, buying 20 tickets at a time or 50 tickets. And, but I think that's a little bit out of hand. It's out of hand.
There needs to be a component to make it affordable to enjoy the weekend, right? I don't think we necessarily mind paying money, but I do have an issue when you're gouging me. Right? And I think that's where it comes into play for me. And if we're partying with a purpose, then I don't mind the money.
Right.
So when we contribute to the funds for the Aggie Gents, we know the university and some kid is going to get some money. When I look at the Manny Freshes and the R&R Productions and the LK Productions, they've been doing this 25 years. I have yet to see nor hear funds earmarked for the university in any capacity. So I'm very strategic with where I spend money.
Good point.
And I would love to see some of those folks come out of the place of capitalism and come into the space of contributing to the university so we can meet some of the financial goals of the university.
More importantly, to our own, it's well said, Quake. And I just couldn't agree more, because it is, we have to remember that this is education, and education for our youth, right? And I'm troubled by when the gouging and the prices are for good old American capitalism and not for the greater good, right? Because the greater good of our community. Because we have a lot of students who, if we're being real, like, just I don't want to kill the joy of the podcast, but there are a lot of students who enrolled in this semester, their first semester or the second year, whatever it is, who won't be able to come back next year, right? Or next semester, because they can't afford tuition. Yet somebody made a grip, off T-shirts and other things that had the A&T brand all over it, and the university got nothing for it. So those students got nothing for it.
Ken, how about the boy? How about your boy that had the names of the players on the back of the t-shirt?
Oh! You got to tell that story, Hump. You got to tell that story.
Yes.
So this guy rolls up with a cart full of t-shirts, and I think he had A&T and South Carolina State on the front, homecoming, and on the back he had each and every player's name listed. So I see the names, and I go, whose name is that? He said, oh, that's the team name. I was like, I'd be damned if I'm going to buy one of those t-shirts, because I know you're not giving that money to the kids. That is an essential NIL, and I mean, I'd be darned if I was going to buy any of those. And so you have that, and to everyone's point, there has to be a way, if you're going to put anything with GHOE or A&T, homecoming, anything, and you're doing that party, there's no way you shouldn't be donating some of those funds to the university, to some scholarship, endowment, what have you. And you guys know how my stance on it. I am totally against the price gouging. It's definitely capitalism. It's supply and demand. I get it. I understand it. I live it. But I'm not going to. I don't have to get into it for my homecoming.
But I will say this though: the same way we have to reach out to the alumni and talk to them about giving and how to give, and because those numbers aren't anything to write home about either. We,
No.
we the university had to be intentional about reaching out to those groups we know throwing the parties and all the different events and appeal to them. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to volunteer. They wouldn't even know where to go with it.
Some of them
And
do.
so with so many, I'm not saying they don't, but I'm with you on that. I feel you. But I'm just saying. But I think if you appeal to them the right way, at least make an effort. We have to be intentional about those conversations with those other vendors that we know. Even downtown now. Anytime they're releasing a flyer like they did this year with the whole list of events going on, skating, you have to have those conversations, And so, because, hey, look, you're going to get some no's, some won't care. But if you don't go to them with some alumni, then they're not going to come to you. So we can't sit back and wait for them to come.
But is there any obligation for them to really do that?
It's not. That's why I said we have to appeal to them because they don't have to.
But that goes back to Ken's point with strategic partnerships, right?
Yeah.
If we have strategic partnerships, you automatically know we're going to get 10% of whatever it is, right? 15% of whatever it is, because that is a preferred vendor for the university.
And at the same time, when I'm making my decisions about where I'm going to put my money, if I see that at the bottom of the flyer, I'm maybe more inclined to pay the price because I know part of it's going back to the university.
Yeah, I think that might be something that would shift a promoter more so than just we want you to give some money back to school.
I do like that idea, but maybe come up with a list so we know what
are the official sanctioned parties of the
I think
university.
so you put that out there, that can make it. I like that idea. Or we can call Ms. Bezos.
It's 63 million.
He dropping 63 million on mortgage.
She goes just in case so we don't offend her. It's Scott at this point in time. Mrs. Mackenzie Scott.
Mackenzie Scott. You're right.
Miss Bezos.
I forgot there's a new, but
that's somebody taking one for the team.
But we should we should be honest about the fact that we've got maturity to do on all sides here. So I think what we said is the university's got to get better at kind of partnering and making sure that that we're positioned to commercialize on everything that's happened, right? That it's not just Aggie pride that the university is getting with all this, that there's some economic benefit again that's going to help us take care of students. I think
the only that just came to the only downside of putting that list out there is now you maybe open yourself up for liability from a legal standpoint. Your name is on it. Something happens there. Big fish go after the big fish. It's going to be the university. That part you got to be careful about.
Yeah. In my experience with it is with the universities, it's actually pretty good with the risk side, not as good with the commercialization side, right? So they'll protect the hell out of it. I do love that it's gotten better over time because the alumni concert did have sponsors' names on it a little bit this time, right? You talked about
you still couldn't tell by the ticket price.
You still couldn't tell by the ticket price. That's
a fundraiser,
but that's a scholarship. That's defined as a scholarship fundraiser.
Yeah, it's a fundraiser.
The bonfire had sponsors. I mean, honestly, the games and those concerts could too.
Yes,
we still, from a corporate partnership, got a ways to go because you got 100, like you said, like 175,000 people in the city. That's good branding for somebody, right? And then lastly, as Hump said, well, I make all my decisions at this point based off, I'm not going to buy a t-shirt from just any vendor. The reason I'm comfortable buying them from the vendors in the host hotel, the Sheraton, or at the the
Pop-ups.
pop-ups downtown, or the bookstore. And I bought from all three this time. Those are relationships with the university, and so there's some benefit going back to the university. And I think some of the parties we go to, if it's a party with a purpose, like a lot of us go to when we talked about the Aggie Gents party, they always say that their money is going towards helping students. And so with the university, the corporate partners, and us as individuals, what I would love to see and what we all can do better is make sure that, and if you don't want to do it for the university, that's fine, but do it for a student. Do it for a young student who looks like you and me, who's going to who needs education, who needs to eat, who needs room and board, who needs all the stuff so they can go on to be successful men and women like us.
I like the fact that you said that. I think one piece of it this time as well that I was able to just see some insight on you all giving back to the school was Robert. We stopped by the mall. Robert bought these white button-down shirts. He bought ties, looked at socks, things of that nature, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I have to take this. We have to make sure these young men have shirts and ties when it's appropriate and time to wear. For interviews and class, things of that nature." That was one piece that I was, that touched me to the fact of him just, going in to buy that stuff for young men, not his cousins, not the kids that I know, fraternity brothers. He was like, these kids need shirts and ties.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's
Kathy
dope.
and I was able to help him pick out some different stuff, but I love that piece of it.
So can I clarify that, right? So for those watching who weren't there, right? So at a lot of the colleges, especially in the business building, especially I know, and some of the others, they literally had, would you almost like shopping set up for the students where they can walk in and they asked us as alums to bring clothes, right? Whether we purchase them directly or it was okay for them to be, like the type of things you give to Goodwill. And it was so well laid out in like, because they had it on racks. They didn't lay it on tables or put it in boxes. They had it like pressed out for folks to come. And our students need this as they are going through interviews and trying to learn how to professionally dress and those kind of things. So it was very well done. The other thing that was really cool is, I don't know if you saw this, Sheree, is in certain areas, they like, there's a big entrepreneur push at A&T. And so there's essentially a entrepreneurs pop-up that happens on campus where if you are, selling something or a young entrepreneurial student, you can register to sell your goods on campus doing GHOE.
I think we
That's
missed
dope.
that.
That's pretty dope. They need to publicize that more. Yeah. Right. So next I guess topic here is GHOE actually is it a phenomenon? How much of a phenomenon is GHOE? Is it different from other HBCU homecomings, or is it just a little bit bigger and that's about it? What do you guys think?
So P, I'm gonna chime in on this one. My wife posted a picture earlier in the week with her girlfriends from High Point that showed up to go to GHOE. One went to Carolina, Pam went to A&T, Enid and Tanya both went to Hampton. Brother, she's been fielding calls all week about folks from Hampton saying you sold us out. So I chimed in, right? I was like, look, facts are facts. I've been to Hampton's homecoming on several occasions, and never once have I felt the love, the camaraderie, the togetherness, the family unit that I feel at A&T. And that's not because I attended A&T, right? When I think of homecoming, I think of relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have relationships across personal venues, professional venues, community venues. Everybody's welcome. We don't turn anybody away. Do you guys know we fed some kids from South Carolina State's football team on Saturday?
After they beat our butt on the field. We actually fed them.
And the kids are kids. And to Ken's point, These kids look like us.
And they probably live in Greensboro, but anyway.
They're part of us. Who are we to say? Because at the end of the day, guess what? Nobody was going to pack anything up and bring it home. That wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. No, and to your point, Quake, being at the tailgate, and I did this for no more than 10, 11 kids. We're sitting there, and I guess the game was going on. So a couple of the guys, well, can we get those? So I guess, you know how some tailgaters, they set up their food during the game. They'll go into the game.
Right.
They'll come back for the after set. So they're sitting there. Well, can we get the beans were cold. They were sitting there. I said, wait a minute, man. Look around. I said, you see all this food. I said, just go. You're a student.
Yeah, man.
But I think that's part of just teaching them. But it felt good because, I mean, I walked several over the specific tailgate. They just get in line. I don't have to have, man, you hungry. I mean, and they were eating like students. I mean, it was, but you know, but I told them, I said, but that's what this is about.
Yes.
I said, get in the line. I said, this is what the whole thing is. It's a family reunion. It's a picnic. But I say that to say we have to teach the students about GHOE.
That's right.
Because I mean, because they were just sitting there looking, and you can just tell, and he was just waiting. I said, man, go get some hot food. Go over there, and that was actually pretty cool to see that. Then to see them come back once they had a full stomach. Now they're ready to have conversations. So, but that was one of the moments that kind of hit me. So I mean, I really appreciate you doing that. Can I call my boys? I said, they here? Yeah,
come eat.
And we can't take the food with us.
Yeah, come eat. The money spent.
Yeah, that touched me more than anything else. To come back, they circled back around was, man, I'm so grateful. And you can tell they were just hungry. They were students. And again, you're away from home. You're on a budget. And not to have, it's the weekend because the calf is closed. You're not getting over there. Right. So they were, so it was a beautiful thing to see, man.
Not to mention, we spent the money we did have on 40s. On Boone's Farm.
What priority?
On Thunderbird.
Yeah, because I'm sure they had everything else. they needed.
They didn't plan to eat.
Yeah, they needed something to put on that. Yeah, that's what that was. Right.
Yep. Yeah, and what's cool about this, and what most of those young folks don't realize, and again, this is the phenom part about what. Back to your question, P. As many of us tailgaters out there, we are planning to feed other people. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and so no secret here. Me, Ray, and Hump, we try to do this almost every football game. But when we think about GHOE, if we did a regular football game, what do you think, fellas? We probably still playing 25, 30 people. We expect
30 tops.
At least, right? But for GHOE, we kind of know we might be feeding 200 to 300 people, right? And so we just go get enough food that everybody who wants something, especially the young food, especially the students, especially people who would be a first timer or guests like Sheree and Kathy. Yeah, absolutely. We want you to experience the phenomenon that is GHOE. So don't hesitate when you're there. As we said on the last podcast, be respectful, right?
That's it. Right, there you go.
But don't be scared.
I think for us, it was good too, because my cousin's line sister, the Turners, they have an annual tent, and it's right almost near the stage. Okay. And so this year was their 30th anniversary for AKA. And I don't think we saw it last year, but this year we definitely saw it. It was at the end, how they were bringing, like you said, just bringing the students over saying, hey, come get you a plate. We have food. We're not taking this home. Come get whatever you like, because that's what you're supposed to do.
That's right.
And I even told Sheree, it's my little cousin's, it's his first year at A&T. So he is totally... He loves it. He's like, I'm never leaving Aggie Land.
Make sure
they're actually coming in this weekend to go to Spell House. And so like they're coming in Friday. I was like, I'm gonna have kids in my house. I have to cook for them because they're kids.
Right.
And had an opportunity to talk to some of the parents just to say, okay, here's what cousin Kathy is gonna do to make sure that these Aggies are safe, because they want to come and still participate in another homecoming, which I think is great because this is what we do. But I still want to make sure that they have something safe, secure, just a way to show love still. So I think you all did a great job with that.
Love that.
So Sheree and Kathy, I'm curious with regards to your perspective of the phenomenon. Let's hear what it looked like to you.
So I'll say for me first. So me coming to A&T is why I wanted to go to college. Okay. So I did not go to school until like 2-3 years after I graduated high school. When my cousin was at school, I came, and of course it was homecoming, and the Wu-Tang Clan was in concert. I was like, oh God.
Enough said.
I was like, this is what college is. Okay. So that started me off like in 94, 95. But my mom was like, you're not going that far. You're not going with your cousins, because it was like 3 of them there at the time. But coming back to see what GHOE is, because they had to break it down to us last year that this just became a thing like maybe the last 10, 12 years. To see GHOE, for me, I feel like it's a phenomenon. I feel like no one else is doing it like this. For me, I like the safety. You all talked about that. I've said that when we go on even our campus, we're going to see the university police, and that's fine.
Right.
I feel like this like Jerome, the security guard. I mean, and that's not just like this, the university police, because they have a real job, safety and security. Right. But
you talking about Otis you talking about? Watch yourself, guys. Watch yourself. Otis in the back. I see how you talking about me, Otis now.
But I said it last year, and I'll say it again this year. One thing we didn't get to do, we didn't walk through that big crowd on the other side, because Robert was like, we're not walking through that. But what I did like last year and even this year, I like to see all types of, we have the sheriffs, we have the city police, we have whoever else from the outskirts, all types, because you are trying to make sure that all of these people are safe.
That's right. Yeah.
So for me, I'm the Aggie cousin for life.
I have one question though. So you said you have not walked that gauntlet yet?
You mean that when the big?
Oh yeah, on your way back.
We did last year. And so
you said you have done
last year we did. We got caught in.
As long as you've been baptized, you're okay. Okay.
So let me tell you. So this is
baptized. Okay.
And this is the conversation that Sheree and I we continue to have, right? So I'm trying to wrap my mind around the numbers when they post the numbers, and they posted the numbers. So this week they said Jackson State, Sheree was like 44,000.
Right.
And A&T, it was like 21. Right?
In the stadium.
But in my mind, and because I still have to do this research, in my mind, I think that they're only counting the people that stepped inside of the stadium.
That's right.
If I look at the people on the outside, and this is just me, this is not Sheree talking. If I look at the people at the outside, GHOE is gonna top everybody every time.
Yeah. So our stadium holds about 21,000 people.
That's why.
Jackson State holds 44. That's it. That's the number.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
but that was the whole state though.
That
was the whole thing.
I mean, that explains a lot for me, because now I understand, because I was like, there's no way. And Jackson State, let me go ahead and put this out here. Jackson State showed us nothing but love. When we came to GHOE last year, we were like, oh, this is right on the line of Jackson State because we got nothing but love in Jackson. And the parties were good.
Have y'all
I
been to
don't know
Southern
about
yet?
the various parties, but the day party that we went to, it was phenomenal.
Have you been to Southern yet?
No.
Hold on.
No.
Let's not jump. Let's not jump yet. We get there. We get there.
You know, we gotta try to test the waters because we haven't even touched FAMU yet.
Okay.
Well, Ty can
We
tell you
were
about
supposed to go to Tennessee State versus Howard this weekend.
Okay.
We tapped out from GHOE. Sheree's out of town.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
she
well,
comes
we
back
tapped
in.
out. I am.
Oh, we tapped out. So the
I
only
just
thing we could do
landed.
is go back to Spell House, and that's our comfort zone. The people over there know us now. We stopped going to Magic City Classic because we discovered Spell House, and we were like, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
But I
So
feel
I'm
like
actually here in I'm here in Houston now. I touched down in Houston today, and Texas Southern homecoming is this weekend. So I'll probably touch some things tomorrow, Friday, and then I fly back to Atlanta Saturday morning. But yeah, that just again covering that that's part of that homecoming committee. So me personally, just to give some background now so y'all will know, I'm born and raised Jackson, Mississippi. So my family, Jackson State, head drum major, head J set, my brother, Alcorn State, my other cousins, Golden Girls. I made it as a Golden Girl, but my paperwork got messed up at Alcorn State. Therefore, I came to Alabama State. Now, haven't been back home since 97. And we used to march in the Jackson State Parade, things of that nature. But not last year, but year before was our first year actually going to Jackson State's homecoming. So I'm gonna be honest. For me, Jackson State and GHOE is sort of running neck to neck for me. Now, the experience at GHOE is hands down. Even with my homecoming, I can't even compare. That whole bonfire thing that sent me over the moon. Even after a loss, seriously, for you to lose your homecoming game and still have that much spirit, I was like, shit. Hey, I'm sorry.
No,
Sheree, guess what?
we
In 3/4 of this group, we never been to the bonfire.
Oh
I
my
have
goodness.
not.
bonfire. No,
What did you know what it is?
She said
We
the
know
game.
it exists, but we've never
No.
attended.
But
that was something we didn't go last year, but that was this year was our first year going.
This is probably my 35th
Gonna
or
have to put it on
36th.
the list.
This is my
That was
35th or 36th GHOE. I've probably been to like 15 games. You know what I mean? So the game has no bearing on the phenom that is GHOE.
Well, that's us.
Yeah, that's
us now. That's us. We have a friend,
something
and she's like,
serious.
y'all don't even like to go into the game. We're like, no, because we want to be out with everyone and feel the love. I don't care who wins or loses. We want to be with the people.
That's right.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's
we
what
went
makes
in the game this
homecoming
year.
homecoming.
We went in the game this year, though. We didn't go in the game last year. So
no, we went in. We couldn't walk through it. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. But I mean, it's just a lot of different little things that we experienced this year. But I'm gonna be honest, that bun fight, oh my goodness, I can't, hands down. This point is for me, it's almost like we can't miss next year, but we haven't decided just yet.
It's the 100.
You'll be there.
Come on, Sheree. We
But my brother did
at the bonfire.
But my brother did tell me.
Come on back.
Yesterday, he said, just let me know when you all are ready to make your reservations so that I can go ahead and book your room. And so I didn't even care that we weren't at the Sheraton. We were right across the street. So just knowing that we were that close this time and the convenience of flying in, it just made it even better for us. But
so multiply that times 20 at the Sheraton.
Oh, listen. Now, I just told somebody, if I had a little more thug in me, I would have went back over. If I had just a little more heart, right? When we left the bonfire, Robert changed his shirt and he was like, you know what? Going back to the Sheraton. I'm thugging it out. I was like, you got to go. Your flight leaves at 6 a.m. He was like, I don't care. Oh, I should have went with him. I should have did a walk.
Yep.
I love it. I love it.
Something I think that buys into the phenomenon is how much we're actually getting coverage of our homecoming. So it's not like somebody's just coming because they come with their friend. Like you've got internet personalities hearing about GHOE and they're coming to GHOE. You see entertainers. I remember like maybe 7 or 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, the rapper Freeway was on the strip just rapping at somebody's tailgate, right? This year, something crazy to happen. Like Edrin James, his daughter went to A&T. And one of our friends, his name is Dwayne Mickens, right? He's walking through the Sheridan with his jersey on, and he runs into Edrin James in the Sheraton with his jersey on. So, I mean, just seeing that crazy stuff like that, just entertainers are coming through just to come to GHOE once they hear. His daughter already graduated, He doesn't even need to do that. This is the running into
wow.
Your favorite NFL player. And Dwayne is he actually started A&T's
gaming program.
Gaming program at A&T. He came through same time we did, but somebody sent that to me and I was like, wow, all types of stuff is going on. You see your favorite, whatever it is. But it's just people that come from outside of North Carolina and the vicinity. I think there's a guy named White George on Instagram that said that he ran into some people from Japan that said they'd heard about GHOE.
How would I describe GHOE? Glitzy, glamorous, ginormous. There's a reason they call it the greatest homecoming on earth. I will say this, my Uber driver on the way there told me she had two passengers, one from Hawaii, one from Japan, who both came to GHOE because they saw it on social media.
I mean, it's just, to me, it is a phenomenon because there are people just that aren't associated with the school at all, or even the culture at all, are hearing about GHOE. That's why I think it's a phenomenon. But that's how
we were at Max, and I took a picture with 2-3 young ladies. One had on a FAMU shirt, one had on a Hampton shirt. The other one may have been a Spelman. I can't quite remember, but Spelman. I say that to say, I believe it is as well. Like people from all around. I don't really care what university. Like Kathy and I last year, we posted, pictures, videos, and everybody was like, "Oh man, we gotta go. We gotta go with y'all. We gotta meet y'all there." Like, and I told Kathy, I said, we really should start a whole
homecoming committee
tour, and like you said,
That's a whole vibe, man.
It's like GHOE is a destination now. It's something different than just a homecoming, from what I feel. So let's get into Kathy and Sheree. Let's get into your story of your homecoming tours and how you guys decide you're going to do that, and what are your conclusions? I know you said GHOE is probably it, but let's talk about it a little bit here. So why don't you guys just tell us how you came up with this idea, what schools you've been to, some of the differences you've seen.
I think we were really just going between Alabama State and Spellhouse. And so maybe about 3 years ago, we were like, okay, you know what? Let's just go to some other homecomings because we want to see if we get this same HBCU love. That's really what happened. We were like, we just want to see. So we've been to Spellhouse. We've been
how many did you do that first year?
The first year, I think we only just did maybe 2 that first year.
No, we did about 3 if not 4, because we did Alabama State for sure, Jackson State, Spellhouse. So I think we did about 3 or 4 that first year.
Then last year we did Alabama State, Fort Valley, GHOE, and Spellhouse again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this year it is State, GHOE, would have been Tennessee State, but GHOE got us. Spellhouse, and we're gonna go to Clark. And I haven't been to Clark's homecoming in years.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Does Clark have their homecoming separate from Spellhouse?
It is. It's a different vibe. You can tell Spellhouse is the I guess the upper class, as you would
Little
say.
bougie, little bougie.
The
Bougie.
little bougie,
Nice.
but
You putting
you
it
got a
nice.
little hood
They're
in
real
you.
polite.
They're real polite, but they still know how to have a good time. So
That's
I'll
right.
give them that. Clark is gonna get down. They're gonna be they're about their life. But I haven't. It has been. I mean, it has been almost 20 years since I've been to Clark's homecoming. So it's gonna be an experience for me either way.
Years back, it used to be together, all three of them, and or Morehouse as well. But of course, Morehouse fell off. Clark, and then they stopped. Clark stopped doing homecoming together. It's just way too many people.
People, it was
Yeah,
just
You
it's too
couldn't
much
walk.
traffic
You
through that
couldn't
whole
park.
AUT.
gotcha. That makes
Uber
sense.
had to drop you off blocks and blocks away. But overall,
Makes
I
sense.
do think that yeah, GHOE has been an experience. That's why it made the list again, and it'll probably make the list next year, being that it's your all's 100th
That's right. Yeah.
anniversary. And you know, we definitely wouldn't want to miss that. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all at your tent. Thank you for the invite earlier. Unofficial invite, but I mean, but seriously, I love meeting people that love our people, if that makes sense what I'm saying. The
That
only
makes sense.
thing
Totally.
that I can say, and not just GHO, but every HBCU homecoming, these kids, we have to put the guns down. That's my biggest
Oh yeah.
concern.
Yeah.
Jackson
Because you guys
State,
had it.
Alcorn State.
Because there was a
It
shooting
was
at
our shooting. It wasn't
Alabama State, right?
our game. It was Morehouse versus Tuskegee after our homecoming.
Was Tuskegee at your state? Was it? Was it at your state? Was it at the Alabama State Stadium or was it no?
It was
State?
at Crampton Bowl at the
Okay, gotcha.
But the
Okay.
shooting happened downtown, so
Yeah.
it was,
Okay.
you know, I mean, regardless, and then you know it happened, and the same thing with South Carolina. One of my good friends from work, he goes to went to South Carolina, and I don't care what state, what city, what school, we have to put the guns down.
Right.
So I had this discussion with my wife Sunday. As we were at the tailgate, I think Hump and Ken and I were looking, and one of the football players' families came and ate at one of the tailgates that was across from us. It's a white family, probably had 15, 20 people. And my brain started turning, right? I'm like, they're here with like 60,000 black people. And there's no media coverage. Nobody can portray us to be something that we're not. They get a firsthand visual of educated African Americans in a civil setting. How threatening are we? Because nobody ever asked the question about who we are and what we do. We don't do that to each other. We don't care, right? It's all about, are you good? That's about the biggest of conversations we had. You good? Family good? All right. We don't talk careers. We don't talk about promotions. We don't talk about money. None of those things come up. But for everything that's portrayed about us in the media, and these people are sitting there amongst us, we're not talking about a few of us, right? It's everywhere they turn.
Mm-hmm.
And they're being welcomed. They're being extended an open hand and invitation to break bread and enjoy themselves. No strings attached.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge narrative for me. Because regardless of what they've been taught or what they've been told, this is who we are. Mm-hmm. They caught us in our most vulnerable state, in our most authentic state. Mm-hmm. Of exactly who we are.
And I almost feel like that's what the guy you all were talking about with the Mohawk, I don't know his name. I see that I don't know if it wasn't Tuskegee, but he was talking to some young lady last week, wherever homecoming he went to.
South Carolina State. South Carolina State, yeah.
That's exactly where it was. I say that to say I feel like that's what he's pulling on as well. Like, you know what? This is something we've never seen. And I feel like that's why he's on the homecoming tour, if that makes sense.
Could be.
Because
Yeah.
people welcoming him, taking pictures, things of that nature. I hadn't seen him before I saw it on internet, so I'm not sure who he is, but I say that to say I believe they know how threatening we are as a
This is the people, right?
as yeah. I think they know.
Yep. And I think that guy's
I know
a
they
former.
know.
Yeah, I think he's a former MAGA guy, and he used to. I think he used to be affiliated as a racist, actually. So he's kind of turned himself. Yeah, I think he's turned over a new leaf, and because you see, he does segments about fraternities and sororities and history and all that type of stuff. But yeah, that's a great point. When you come to GHOE, like you mentioned, there's a lot of love at HBCU homecomings, but at A&T, it's a little bit different. It just seems to be, it doesn't matter. We're all Aggies during homecoming, which I love. So that being the case, what are your top three that you guys have been to on your tours? Top three homecomings.
Look, what's your
What's
two
two
and
and
three?
three?
I would say
Almost 2 and 3.
GHOE, Jackson State, and Alabama State for me. GHOE, Jackson
Okay.
State, Alabama State. Now I say Alabama State because that's my university. But honestly, there's nothing like Spell House either. But I gotta say, I gotta throw my university in there, good, bad, ugly.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like it's some things that I can take away from this past weekend. Not only, even tonight on this call, on the podcast, it's some things I could find some people to share and say, hey, we need to make sure we implement this. Like I've learned a lot just this last hour listening to you all. And like you said, if it's not going back to the school like that, it makes so much sense. Kathy and I, we're both deltas, and I'm gonna be honest, the AKAs, what y'all want, what y'all need, and it's just sisterhood, if that makes
No
sense.
animosity. Yep.
It wasn't, it's not pink and green, it's not red and white, it was just sisterhood. So I say that to say, like, hands down, that yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy, what about you? What's the top three though? What you gotta have three?
GHOE.
GHOE, and GHOE.
No, Jackson State for right now. Jackson State falls right under. I would say Spell House.
Okay. Now, quick question. One more question. What is something that any of these schools do better than GHOE does? Is there anything that any of these schools do better than GHOE?
Look at Kathy's face. The answer is no.
I'm pulling.
This is the thing for me. I don't compare it to like y'all do things better or whatever. I think the vibe is different because of like Jackson State. For me, that's home, and I knew a lot of people. If that makes sense.
Right.
Oh no,
For
you're
Spell House, it's the same thing because I know a lot of people, whether I work with you, however, so it's still the same thing. GHOE is like, I really don't know none of y'all besides these 5 cousins right here. Y'all all just treated me like cousins, and I don't really know y'all, but we cousins now.
So Ken, give the synopsis, man.
Of this whole notion. So, I mean, if you want to be,
Ken, let me sum it up real quick before you say something. Let me sum it up with this.
We'll show your ass how to party. And
Yeah,
so
right.
don't get it twisted. Greatest homecoming on earth. If you don't know, Google that shit. And if you need more evidence, come down and check us out. You'll see why.
There we go. So
thank you.
Man, go ahead, kid. Go ahead. I wanted to play that. I was going to do it at the beginning, but I wanted to throw that in, man. Just so people know. Just so they know.
I don't even know how to top that. That was pretty good. No, but I think, Sheree, what separates us, I think in this last part, right, is we just don't care about whether you are, whether you went to school with us or not, right? It is we have two aspects of the four that I mentioned last week that you're probably feeling. One is um, what I call the Southern hospitality, right? When you come, y'all probably had that at Jackson State and Alabama State and whatnot. When you come, you just with us, right? It's like a family reunion style, and then that is important, right? So that because I have been to homecomings here, like I live in the DC area, where it's just like I there's one school in particular. When I go there, people ask me, when was I here? And I was like, I tell them I didn't go here, and they look at me like, well, why you here? And I'm like, well, shit, I tried to make your shit better than it was, right? But but that's the way they get down. So we don't do that. That's number one. Number two, and what you are feeling, and you've heard it in this call, party is in A&T's DNA. Right? We're just better at partying than most schools, right? Because in fact, over the years we become more academic friendly and all these other things. We become more national and global because we used to be kind of just a North Carolina school. We've changed a lot since we all matriculated there in the late 80s, right? But one thing has not changed: an Aggie party and Aggies who, like I talked about that dude who's in his 80s now. They partied hard when he was probably there 60 years ago. And we still party hard now. And that's one thing. So between the way we treat everybody, whether you were a student there or not, alum or not, and the way we party, it's no wonder y'all have number one.
Doesn't change.
Perfect.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
They got real quiet around us.
Yeah. Seriously, I agree. Man, yeah. Every party, everything we go to, it's just
Has anybody ever looked at you sideways and say, "Why you here?"
No. Actually, like some of my classmates, one of my classmates from Jackson, we went to high school together. I posted, Kathy said something like, GHOE, here we go. And he said, I'm boarding my plane right now. See you in a minute. I'll let you know when I touch down. And it's like, okay, make sure you holler at me when you get here. But he went to Jackson State. But of course, Jackson State homecoming was the same weekend. He did not go. He stay in Atlanta now, but he came to GHOE, and this is our second year seeing him there. So I'm gonna be honest, man. It's nothing like it.
Wow. To your point, Ken, I think if we do ask you, did you go to school here or where you went to school, it's usually for some, all right, well, cool, we're going to come check y'all out. Exactly. And it's kind of love. It's just a love. All right, let's come party with us, come hang out with us. We're going to show you our love. At some point, I'm going to come check you out, and we're going to return that love back down. So I think it's never comes from a position of, trying to look down on anyone, or we're trying to bring folks in and we're trying to grow this thing to be more comprehensively, collectively, the love across the board. And when we start showing that more, I think we make a lot of other things a lot easier to align and get ourselves on the same page. So it all starts with the love. All starts with the love.
Hey, I forgot to tell you guys, when I took Rico back Saturday to introduce him to some more people, on my way back, I ran into Roy Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he was
there. So Roy Cooper's walking through the crowd, and I'm like, "Hey, Roy."
And for sure, tell Sheree and let Sheree and Kathy know who that is. Actually,
so Roy Cooper is a former governor of the state of North Carolina, and now he's running for a Senate seat as well. And for him to be at GHOE, I'm like, okay, he's making his mark. He's solidifying votes, and he's making sure that he is in the place where he can affect masses and be seen. Yep. So it's his biggest bang for the buck in North Carolina for Black people. Let's cut it short.
Yep. It's a good look for him. Good look for him.
Very good look for him.
Yeah.
Very good look for him.
All right. So we're going to wrap up this episode with our individual thoughts. And Quake, why don't you just jump in first? Again, this is where we give each panelist a minute to, get off their chest whatever they want to say. So go ahead and kick it off, Quake.
So I thoroughly enjoyed GHOE, which I always do. If there was one negative, I would say it's too big, right? I know everybody's chimed in with regards to the security measures that they have in place, from bike police to sheriff's deputies to Greensboro police to campus police. But it is a huge undertaking. And as the crowds get larger and larger, I think that whole trek from Law Street back to the Plots, which we don't even go on Saturdays anymore because it's too hard to navigate, right? I miss going. I miss singing with the brothers. I miss counting off. I miss the camaraderie that we have. That's a negative for me, right? I know we break down the tailgate, but I would thoroughly like to embrace the brotherhood on Saturday afternoons.
All right, perfect. All right, who wants to jump in next? Ken?
Yeah. Shout out to Sheree and Kathy for coming, and I really appreciate the way y'all have gone through different homecomings. I love y'all being here, and that was cool. In this homecoming season, in our last episode, we talked about the phenomenon that is HBCUs and our homecomings. And boy, we're probably halfway through now, right? The next 3 weeks, all the other schools will have theirs. I guess my individual thesis is I'd love to see us have more time like this as a people, right? It feels like in every October and November, we kind of come together, very similar to the way we do around 4th of July and Labor Day and in that season of homecoming, of family reunions. I love the point made before around put the guns down and stop all the other, stuff and shit that we have out there. This is when we are at our finest. I said it on the last podcast. No culture does this the way we do as Black folks. Man, I love it. I miss it when it's gone. And to the extent that we can find other ways of leaning into the best of what we do as Black folks with our family reunion vibe, I long for it, because we shouldn't have to wait to next summer's family reunion season and homecoming season to feel this way. And so with that as a notion, lean in with me, pray with me that we have more times like this, not fewer times like this.
Perfect. Ty?
What Ken is basically saying is what we say at a funeral. Look, we got to get together more than just when someone passes away. So that's what you're saying, Ken. We got to be intentional about it. But my biggest thing this year was, and I would be remiss if I didn't say it, we are celebrating our 35th year in the bond of Kappa Alpha Psi Alpha Nu chapter. And this was a beautiful celebration of 35 years. We got together on Thursday. We got an Airbnb where we just kicked it. Everybody came together because we knew once everything got started, it was going to be crazy. So Thursday night, the brothers got together. We fellowshiped, we ate, we laughed, we cried. We had the age where we're losing folks, losing friends, parents. And so Thursday night we did that. We got together with the other lines because if you weren't there 35 years ago, it probably was the tightest that you've ever seen any fraternities and sororities together at one time. I mean, we were so close even before we pledged. I mean, I know in just with my group, I mean, in my dorm, nobody knew what anyone wanted to do. Okay, everybody wanted to keep it a secret. But that year, spring 90, everybody we knew from sororities, from females to males, made line. And so we were so tight going in. And I think we just set that whole So it wasn't the animosity. When we crossed, we were together. So we got together Thursday night. All the frat sororities met together at a bar downtown, kicked it. Manny Fresh that night. 8 o'clock that morning, me and my line brothers got together, did a service project at an elementary school where we painted, we gave back, we gave donation, and we'll be giving information out on that coming soon. But it wasn't just about getting together; it's about giving back. And that service project and the way that principal said it, that it had impact on those kids and changed the trajectory of what they're going to do going forward. That hit us. So that was Friday morning. Like you said, to the day party, I'm gonna give a shout out to the Aggie Gents. I have no investment in them outside of them getting my money every year. But as Quake said earlier, I don't mind giving it because I know they give back to the students. If you knew what it takes to be an Aggie Gent and what they have to give, not just to be one, not just money, but time and investment and education, what they come back and give, they teach the students on every aspect of being not just a student, but being a person and getting ready for the real world. So shout out to the Aggie Gents, to the alumni concert, to the whole nine. It was just, again, it was a special time. So I just want to say to the Spring 90 Alpha New Line, the last 19 Christian Crusade, I love you. Let's continue to get together. Let's continue to keep this thing going. And there's nothing like Cap outside in North Carolina A&T.
All right. Hey,
that's a long ass 60 seconds.
That's the longest one y'all
Hey,
had.
hey, that's because you're not used to that.
let me get the next person on. Dude.
Hey, talk to me afterwards.
You want to jump in next, man?
You know good and damn well you don't get Ty a window like that. You go take polar bear together.
Don't get you.
It was his anniversary. It was his anniversary, so he could cross the line.
All right. So my final thought tonight, every time we get together for the podcast, we somehow, get into politics, we get into sports, sometimes we get into entertainment, and they're all connected. But to be able to talk the last two episodes about GHOE and homecomings, we got to still continue to realize that nothing happens in isolation. So, as we move on, we go forward. If you could capture that feeling that you have at homecoming, you could put it in a bottle. Um, you know, think about that in your mindset. And when you're faced with that adversity, when you're faced with that situation where you don't want to deal with someone, when you're faced with that situation where somebody's looking at you sideways, see if you can tap into a little bit of that feeling from bring that thing back to home. Because when you think about the stories that we follow on a day-to-day basis, and sometimes about who we are and the things we interact, you got to find something to pull from positive. And I think we can all say that, that feeling that we had this past weekend is almost euphoric enough to heal just about any ill we're going to face as we go forward. So as you go into the next time, get back together, take care of yourself, stay tuned in, and keep that positive feeling inside your heart that you can show out to the world.
All right, perfect. All right, Sheree.
I would just to wrap things up. I would say I'm looking forward to close this year out, homecoming tour, but with great thoughts from GHOE. Should I say, like he said, it's a feeling. You can't get it everywhere. So I definitely can say that this past weekend was one for the books, and felt like family. We enjoyed ourselves to the utmost, and I'm gonna be honest. 9 times out of 10, we'll probably be back next year. But we just, we're grateful and thankful for A&T, Aggie, just everybody. Like it was family. And like I said, it's those distant cousins, you haven't seen in a long time or you really don't know. I think that's really what just, will us in. We met some older guys. They was like, oh, we're going to Magic City Classic you all game in Birmingham, and we was like, oh, okay, but we're here right now. So like, I mean, what they were saying, it was good, but we was like, but we at GHOE, like. So I say that to say, just great environment, like you said, parties and all, but it's definitely some things that I can take back to the people at my university, so we can learn from everybody. It can't be duplicated. I'm not trying to duplicate it, but it's definitely some things that we can take back to make sure that our students are, good things of that nature. So I just thank you all for a great time, great experience, and thank you for having us tonight.
Thank you for being on. But I thought the Magic City Classic was in Atlanta.
It's in Birmingham.
Oh my bad.
Oh no, you're talking about the real Magic City. Okay.
Don't mind.
You talking about the real.
You gotta know who you're talking to on that one, right?
They're on tour right now.
We got through it the first time they said
Exactly. He let it pass a few times. It was hard for him to let it go the first few times.
Couldn't let it go that third time. I knew he wasn't gonna let it go that third time.
But they're on tour. They were actually in Tokyo this past weekend, so I'm not sure where the next stop is.
Boy, we're gonna have to mute you, Tommy. That was a good one, though. I'll give it that. So, Kathy, you want to give us your individual thought? It could be anything.
Pretty much just everything Sheree said. Everyone that knows me knows that I love homecoming season. I feel like the whole month is like a national holiday. The owner of my gym, he hates homecoming season because he knows that I'm going to be away from the gym. And even when I got back on Monday, he literally cursed me out. He told me those people in North Carolina don't know you. I don't know why you keep going to those people. They don't know you. You don't know them. You just want to go to somebody's homecoming. And I was like, you miss me, right? But I love everything about it. I think, like Sheree talked about Jackson State, it makes it so much better when you have your family there. So I feel like, even though I have a lot of family members from A&T, like it's even more like just meeting you all. Paul has been, this is the second year we've been with Paul. It's just a family, and it's not like anything else. No one can duplicate it, but it gives everybody a good blueprint of what they could possibly do. It still won't be done to this measure. But it gives you a good blueprint, and it shows you what really happens when we come together and how great we really are.
Excellent.
Paul, can I say one more thing?
Yep, sure.
I want very quickly. I want to give a shout out to one of my best girlfriends, Kathy. We've been rolling 20 plus years, and she turned. You don't mind if I tell this story, do you?
No.
She turned 50 this year, and her birthday gift from her brother was everything GHOE. But long story short, Kathy's brother really laid it out for us. I'm talking about red carpet from the airport all the way to the room, and I just want to say thank you. It's just thank you, friends, thank you. That's all.
That's what's up.
Y'all are twins. Y'all. I was gonna call y'all. I was gonna call y'all the Wonder Twins, but then I found City Girls. I was like, someone call them the City Girls at home. HBCU. See how they like. I was like, they might smack me for that, but I got a whole year to get my jaws ready for that. So, my individual thought is just, enjoy life, man, and get out and do stuff. At our age, I think somebody mentioned, they said they'd take pictures, and every year the person that missed the picture wasn't around the next year. So we're at that point in life where, it might cost a lot to go to some event. Hey, man, if you can swing it, go ahead and do it, man. You might as well. Enjoy life. Homecoming just kind of reinforces that. You have to be grateful that a lot of people around that and that it ain't even that you really even hung out with them, but just you see they're doing well and they've made it this far. you're just like, you're just happy for people in that regard. But just enjoy life, do things that you want to do. You don't always have time. You don't always have time. So, I got my days, and I hope I'm here to do this again next year, for sure. But just live life. Just live life. But I want to thank everyone for joining. Sheree and Kathy, thank you very much for joining and being honorary Aggies for homecoming and spreading the word.
Thank you.
I want to thank our regular cast members. I wasn't as clear on the time with them. I'm sorry about that, fellas. At least we got this in, and hopefully I can chop this up and get it out quicker so that it's not 2 weeks later and we're looking up at some GHOE stuff. But I hope everybody has a good week, and it's been a pleasure. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Y'all have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Peace.